The Israelites, led by Moses, had been freed from slavery in Egypt. After crossing the Red Sea, they journeyed through the desert, following God's guidance. They camped at the foot of Mount Sinai where God would speak to Moses and give him laws for the people. On the third month after leaving Egypt, the Israelites arrived at Mount Sinai. Moses climbed the mountain to meet with God, and God spoke to Moses, saying, "Tell the people of Israel that if they obey my voice and keep my covenant, they shall be a special treasure to me above all people." Moses told them, "The Lord has spoken. He calls us to obey his commands, and he will make us his chosen people. We must prepare ourselves to meet with God." Moses instructed the people to sanctify themselves, washing their clothes and abstaining from certain activities to prepare for God's presence. On the third day, thunder and lightning shook the earth. A thick cloud covered the mountain, and the sound of a trumpet grew louder and louder. Moses said unto them again, "Do not be afraid, the Lord is revealing himself to us." As Moses ascended the mountain, the presence of God descended in fire. The mountain trembled violently, and a thick smoke rose from it, like the smoke of a furnace. Moses entered the cloud and approached the very presence of God. The Lord called to him from the cloud and spoke the 10 Commandments. God said unto Moses, "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me." God said unto Moses, "You shall not make for yourselves a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above or on the earth below. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Honor your father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet." While Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, the people below grew impatient. They turned to Moses' brother Aaron. Israelites were frustrated because Moses had been gone too long. They told Aaron, "We need a God to lead us. Make us a God we can see and worship." Aaron reluctantly said, "Bring me your gold, and I will make a God for you." When Moses descended the mountain and saw the people worshiping the golden calf, he was filled with anger and sorrow. Moses shouted and said, "What is this you have done? You have broken the commandments of God. He has delivered you, and you have turned to idols." Moses said to Aaron, "Why did you lead them into sin?" Aaron, ashamed, said to Moses, "They were set on evil. I just did what they asked." Moses, filled with grief, went before the Lord and pleaded for mercy on behalf of the people. Moses said to God, "O Lord, forgive these people. If you cannot forgive them, then blot me out of your book, but do not destroy them, for they are your people." God said firmly and calmly, "I will not destroy them, but they will bear the consequences of their actions. I will send an angel before them to lead them to the promised land." Moses returned to the mountain, and God commanded him to carve new stone tablets. On them, God wrote the 10 Commandments once again. Moses, holding the new tablets, said, "I have received the commandments once again. This is the covenant God has made with us." The Israelites renewed their covenant with God. They promised to obey his commandments and follow him as their God. Moses led them toward the promised land carrying the laws of God. And so the 10 Commandments became the foundation of God's covenant with his people. They would guide the Israelites in their journey to the promised land, and they remain a symbol of God's law and holiness.